verifiable sources. Also, you have a space of 60 seconds, 60 seconds, 1 minute to make your comments. Just allow other people make their comments as well. The views to be expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 or the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye, and any individuals who would call or make a comment this morning as well. We're streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook as per usual at FlowFM 927, so you can get on any of these apps and get in on the live action happening in the studio right now. So we've been on the conversation of General Christopher Musa as Minister of Defense. Yesterday we talked about the Senate about to screen him, and well, the Senate on Wednesday confirmed former Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa as Nigeria's Minister of Defense after a demanding 5-hour screening that focused heavily on recent security breaches. The lawmakers pressed him on the withdrawal of troops from the Government Comprehensive Girls Secondary School, Maga. That was one of the conversations that he had in Kebbi State before the abduction of the schoolgirls on November 17th, as well as the killing of Brigade Commander Musa Uba in Borno. Now, General Musa promised immediate full-scale investigations into both incidents and stressed the need for improved funding, stronger community engagement, and tighter coordination among security agencies. He has his work cut out for him already, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And one must say that he actually, acquitted himself, creditably, astoundingly on the Senate floor. And I didn't expect anything less from him, considering his pedigree. And you see, a good candidate for ministerial position is not, it's not exactly rocket science, because you can see from the engagement the senators had with him, despite the fact that they know that the man is eminently qualified for that job. But you could see that they still wanted to grill him. There was no doubt as to his credibility, his credentials, but they needed to know how he intends to go about the job. In fact, at a point when the Senate president wanted the normal tradition of a bow and go.
Take a bow and
go. The other, floor member said no, that they needed to ask him questions because we are talking of security. And that is the point we are saying. Now they are getting the message that it's a case of, we are facing an existential threat. So anybody that is going to head that position, has to be somebody that is up to scratch. So somebody that understands the terrain very well. And this man has displayed, he has acquitted himself creditably well before the Senate, on the Senate floor, and before Nigerians. We sincerely hope that, not that I have any doubt, but I would sincerely hope that he will walk the talk.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the most important
thing.
Walk the talk. Yeah, but within the period he was the defense, chief, we saw what he was. It was just like saying the same old thing we have always known about him: community engagement, funding, and in fact there was something he said that we need to stop paying ransom.
I was just going to go there because again, what a session it was yesterday. It was one of the interesting sessions I watched on the Senate floor. I remember a few other ones, nominees who have appeared before the Senate, and into my head I was like, no. Why did this person get nominated? And others, it was like, wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
It was the same way for General Christopher, Musa yesterday. And it was quite I wasn't even surprised, but it was just a bit shocking that almost all of the senators were speaking good of him, like, oh, you're a good man, you're this. And he talked tough yesterday. And I'd like to just say what he said. He said, there is no negotiation with any criminal. When people pay ransom, it buys terrorists time to regroup, rearm, and plan new attacks. Communities that negotiate still get attacked later. The words coming from General Musa. Well, what are the tasks ahead of him? It's quite enormous. But do you think what he has said, no negotiation with the terrorists?
Well, since he's the defense minister, I think it carries a lot of weight. So what it simply means that the soldiers they have their job cut out for them. Then again, I think he's sending a very strong message to people like, was it Dalhatu, one of this northern Ariwa Consultative Forum member, who said that they should compensate the bandits, and treat them like the way they treated the Niger
Delta military.
I have never had anything so dumb in all my years of practicing journalism. I've been an adult. You see, a situation where an elderly man cannot make a distinction between two instances is something that is frightening. And these are supposed to be leaders of an entire region. in what planet are you going to compare what happened in Niger Delta and what is currently happening? We are talking of most of these bandits are not even Nigerians in the first place. That is number one. Number two, I on this platform, I did say something that what they were doing was they were abducting, that is expatriates, white guys, so that they can get dollars to buy weapons, to buy weapons, So, for the mere fact that people don't even see that, they can't even remember that, tells you how much trouble the North is in. If these are the quality of people who come out to say things, and it's just another, him and Gumi are just two sides of a coin. Going all about and saying things that are so incendiary, pampering these deviants that from all intents and purposes are not even Nigerians in the first place. So I think General Christopher's, message is the right to people like him that he shouldn't be expecting a quarter. He's not going to give a quarter. The moment he assumes, he's going to come all out for them. And that is what we actually need. The issue of, and I think there is a need to clarify what the man is trying to say. What he said is that at the level of government, no ransom will be paid. And that is fair enough. But of course, when you find yourself in that kind of situation, if the family of the abductees have the money to pay, you can't stop them from paying. Because this is an emotional thing. And I think that what he has said, should be clearly understood. But as far as the military and government, federal government is concerned, there is no negotiating with these people. Because ample time has been given to them. And I recall that there has been a lot of this, and for sake of crying out loud, there has been a lot of talks in Katsina, where they come armed with their guns and the rest of them. So those talks that they've been having with them, so what does that amount to? So if that does not carry any weight, then why do you continue negotiating with them?
0807 997 That number connected directly to the program this morning. The headline news analysis. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Timilei Adeyemi. I'm calling from Asadam.
All right. Good morning, Timilei Adeyemi from Asadam.
Go ahead with your comment, please.
I think we are getting it right gradually. The president blindsided because this issue of going these people are in government it has been recurring. The say journalists know where they are. They went to interview. Clerics know. It's only the military that doesn't. But now I think we are getting it right. Kudos to the president and with what he said at the forum he went to, I think that the border too will be taken up. I agree with Nicholas this morning. What he said. This general, they grilled him and he proved that he knows what he's doing. Good morning.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, Timilei. 0807 777 Let's take this message from WhatsApp. Well, it's away from the conversation, but I think it's something that we need to put a light on. Good morning in the studio. Please, I'd like to make a plea on behalf of Unilorin students regarding the hardship they go through to get buses from the school bus park to the school. It is sad to see students on queues that, if stretched out, will probably go from stadium to the airport. Please, Mr. Nicholas, I know you may not want to call out Unilorin on radio, but please find a way to remind them a solution needs to be provided very fast. In fact, if this new park idea the school is working on is not working, they should revert to the status quo because the so-called issue they are trying to solve wasn't even as bad as this. I'm aware they're making promises, but nothing is happening. A lot of students now wake up very early to start trekking from school gate because they know that no matter how early you get to the park, they would never make it on time for their lecture. Worthy of note is that the school has restricted students from taking pictures or even talking about the hardship they pass through on social media. Schooling in Nigeria doesn't have to be so hard. Thank you, Ayo, from Adewale Estate.
Well, Ayo, thank you so much. Actually, let me just say certain things. I'm an alumnus of University of Ilorin. I have a good working relationship with the management. I've reported them several, and I have a lot of friends, both as lecturers and as staff there. But you see, let me be very clear about certain things, and I sincerely hope that the management of the University of Ilorin is listening to this. I passed through that university. I know what academics is like there. You see, all those things happening to those kids, and they don't give you damn when they set exams. And I sincerely hope that, they don't want me saying this. There was a time that a lot of University of Ilorin students were on suicidal lists. I hope they know. And it's because of hardships like this.
We recall, like, I think two cases just 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
In fact, a very close friend of mine, one of the daughter attempted suicide. We had to talk her down. And I think she dropped, and consider school of nursing instead. You understand? So it's because of inhuman treatments like this that make students resort to things like that. So you can imagine, and most of this, the bulk of the students are not even Ilorin based. They come all the way from different parts of the country. So, and they come here and you subject people's children to this kind of hardship. And you see, the worst part, which I think is not even, I don't even want to doubt it, is restraining them from talking on social media. It is what I know University of Ilorin, that what it has become is capable of doing. You understand? That if they see you and, there will be punishment and things like that. A lot of things has been happening in that university that we just choose not to say. But if I had my kids there will be hell to pay for. That is the simple truth. Because I will go on every platform and blackball them until they do the right thing. So I sincerely hope they are listening. This is not to threaten, this is not to, but we are talking of, in those days when we were in school, there is this saying, the university is supposed to be the microcosm of what the larger society will be.
Definitely.
The larger society is far organized than what we are seeing here.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Please.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
It's Kenny from Tanke.
All right, Kenny, please go ahead.
I want to commend the Nigerian Senate yesterday. Generally speaking, I'm not going to be apologetic for this. This is actually the very first time I will be seeing Gojo displaying maturity on that seat. In the sense that when the motion was raised for General Musa, he stood up. I watched it live from his seat. He stood up for 3 minutes, 40-something seconds, narrating and giving reasons why this cannot be a power and go motion. And it's pointing to the fact that they are representing their constituents, and their constituents, which is we want to ask some questions and erase the questions. Sincerely speaking, I dove my car for him for that singular honor of yesterday. And I love the way General Musa responded to all the questions posed at him. And it really shows how credible and how credible and reasonable he has been, even while he was in uniform. Before this issue, I was following his videos, his pictures, and his comments on social medias, what he has been saying. I was like, am I really sure this is what this man said? But he repeated all those things in the house for them yesterday, and he stood his ground. And he gave examples of where he had had successes and what brought to the successes. And I remember something. Before Fabio sat down, he said something. He said, don't give us the scope and the techniques that you want to use. Because they themselves know that there's a more in between the politicians and the military. So sincerely speaking, we just pray this will lead us to the right path. This will lead us to the light we are expecting. God bless FlowFM. God bless you all.
Thank you very much,
Kenny.
Kenny.
So much. Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny. Let's take before you react to that. For the first time, Senator Akpabio spoke like he knows what he's doing. This shows that these politicians know what is right, but always choose to do the wrong thing because Nigerians don't hold them accountable. I wish the minister best of luck. This is Sunday at Gumbia Day.
Another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Danielle.
Good morning.
All right, good morning to you.
Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Nicholas.
Good morning,
Good morning to you, Toyi.
I hope to do some issue with delivery. You see, I think generally, when we allow the right foreign override the purpose of an institution, this is what you get. What is happening in Ilorin is just the fact that the management wants to be in control of the shuttle services. And it is nothing but just for the sake of the revenue generation. At the expense of these students that, this thing affects their mental health and it's psychological and even otherwise. Like you always said, because you said people being suicidal. You were right. I know of a boy that was at the point of dropping.
Toyi, you there? Okay.
Oh, God.
All right, please, try and call, connect back if you can. Well, the issue of transportation at the University of Ilorin is a big concern.
It's a very, very big concern. Major
I
concern.
know the intervention of, private bodies who made attempts to ease things for the student, but he never saw the light of day.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I think
That could be Tony calling back.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Now, can you speak a little louder, please? Good morning. Hello, you're live.
That's FlowFM.
Yes, this is FlowFM. Good morning to you.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning. That's FlowFM.
Yes, it is. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay.
Please do well to connect back if you can.
Connect back, please.
All right.
You can. Yeah, I think Tony hit the nail on the head. That, these days is about revenue collection. It's about revenue. To run a university, you need a revenue system. And the low-hanging fruit for that is most appealing to a university like University of Ilorin is the transport sector. It's so easy to recoup money from there, because we are talking of close to 30,000 students, both postgraduate, close to 30,000. You can imagine the daily, turnover that you're going to get from
the school itself.
Within the school itself. So, but you see, well, let us just say it's just a failure. This is one of the reflections of the failure of governance, of managing university system in the country. Institution where universities are not properly funded, you understand? Then there is always that resort by university system, to go back to, all those small things that ordinarily should have been left for the private sector players. And all they need to do is just sit back and regulate how it's done and get their rents from it. But because, federal government itself has proven irresponsible over the years, they tend to look, put their hands in pies. Then again, I think it goes back to this argument that I've been, though I'm kind of a minority on it. I think that the universities we have these days are way too large. Space management is very poor in most of our universities. You look at the expanse of land, and people still argue, especially at this time when there is technology and there is things like there's virtual teaching and the rest of them. You still argue for such humongous space to run a university. I can't wrap my head around it because I see a lot of improvements. I see a lot of, we have a couple.
Yeah, we do. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
I'm Brian calling from Banking.
Okay.
All right, can you speak a little louder, please?
Yes, I just want to talk about the issue of the campus transport.
Okay.
The fact is, like the school wants to take over the whole system, collecting revenue from the drivers. But if that should be the case, they should be able to act fast on it. Whatever they want to do, the students pass through unnecessary. Because the fact is, there are enough cars that can route that place that can be working. All these schools, most of them have go outside the campus, working for inside town, like Pagara, Mandate, and Oja area. They have left the campus because the system they put for them cannot work for them. As in, the amount they will be making a day cannot be up to what they need to be taking home to take care of their family, and most of them are family men. So that's the major reason why most of the drivers, they have to leave to another place to gain a price. Some are even late from Ilorin to where they could come. So that's whatever they want to do, work on it fast. If they want to be union from the campus, they should be able to do it as fast as possible. So that because exam will start with the student now. We do it as well before they continue.
All right, thank you very much. Well, he was talking about the stringent conditions some of these bus drivers are subjected to, hence, they're abandoning it and moving. I think we have a Kwarapoli also here, and the distance from the gates is less compared to that of Unilorin.
It's very, very
It
far.
is quite a distance from the gate here.
From the gate
and it's sad where I I've experienced this, so I see it happen. Students actually, walk
from the gate.
From Tipper Garage.
They are wasted when they get to class. There is no learning. No learning will happen
From
under
Tipper
that
Garage
condition.
into the university campus. Yeah.
Not from the gate.
Not even some even who
see,
live close by move to the gate, and then from the gate to their faculties or lecture halls.
In those days, I happen to have schooled at the mini campus anyway. In those days, the rigor has to do with is the academic rigor that it was the problem for us. The academic rigor, the number of courses you have to do, the assignments, the researches that you have to do, those were the things that made things so difficult for us in those days. But having to add this to that kind of stress, I doubt if someone like me would have coped, even at that time.
Let's take another call. Okay.
All right. Just quickly squeezing the messages that we have.
Yeah.
Mohammed Issa Adeyemi says, good morning, Danielle and Nicholas. The transport system of the University of Ilorin has totally collapsed due to the interference of the calling out a particular person, the dean also Senate Affairs or something like that. Well, that's a comment. We'll probably just put a light on that.
Yeah, we'll get him to put the light on that.
Facebook comments. Dr. Mrs. Maole Barra from Uweri. Is development possible anywhere misappropriation and shoddy deals made their way as an endemic national echoes where conscience is murdered for political gain? Self-will raised above that of collective imprudence for prudence, honesty and hard work for dishonesty, where the future is mortgaged for immediate gratification and all related behaviors and cultures of corruption. Why is evil being allowed to ravage our polity unchallenged?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
Okay, this is Michael from Milan.
Michael, please go ahead with your comment.
Okay, so on the appointment of the Minister for Defense, I think General Christopher and the fact that he has vast knowledge of what the task ahead of him. So just like one of the senators said, I think the president needs to start setting KPIs for these people. So that as the moment you get to that office, 6 months, anything you can't deliver in 6 months, you cannot do in 1 year. At least let's start seeing you doing something so that at least we'll say, okay, this man can achieve this within 6 months, then you can do this. So it should not be where they will end the tenure with the president. We should stop that practice or until when they say you should go and resign for health reasons. So we should stop that practice. Then on the administration of universities in Nigeria, just like somebody called up, I think it's high time we need to see how, especially the government universities, let's beam our satellite on it. I think this has nothing to do with government. It's a management failure. I graduated from technology now, and within the 5 years that I stayed there, all the visits that we had, we felt that it was government that was not providing money. Everything was so awkward. Not until I got to my final year, a Professor Sahar Tuko transformed the entire school. And we're asking ourselves that, is it that government has increased their subvention or what? He brought in private sector. We had more than 100 buses, these kind of big ones that Ilorin is using. We're close to 100 in Footmina by PPE, by private sector. And this man transformed everywhere without any form of increment. So I think government might have their own issue, but I think the management of university, they lack ideas on how to run.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, I know your school, Footmina. It's a good square.
Yeah, no, it's a good school.
Let's move ahead real quick, Nicholas.
All right. Well, we are kind of we have two issues now, but let's look at that security matter. Like we said, the security thing is what's most paramount for me, and like the last caller just said, that the man General Christopher knows exactly what he's doing, and this caveat, this idea of allowing ministers to leave the office with the president should be discarded. And so far so good. How many ministers have we have? About 2 or 3. About 3 ministers have been given the boot within the last 2 years, and for me that is an improvement. That is in a way that is transparency, and that is accountability. You understand? Don't forget we have this lady that was on the day, she was asked to move aside. Then of course,
the male senator, duties with the very, very funny certificates.
Okay, I'll hold that one too.
Science and technology.
Was shown the door. Now we have a Minister of Defense. That one has been booted out too. So these are for me, it's a welcome debate. It's about accountability. So we should have that. So if I'm praying, I'm rooting for General Christopher to do well on this job. Considering the fact is that ethnically he's from that part of Kaduna State that have seen bloodshed. So I think to a very large extent that should spur him to deliver some dividends in good time. All right.
Let's touch on another story before we round off on the analysis real quick. If we're unable to finish up on it, we'll take it up tomorrow. The United States has introduced a sweeping visa restriction policy targeting individuals who finance, direct, authorize, or support violent attacks and violations of religious freedom, with the sanctions also extending to their immediate family members. He announced this in a State Department statement titled Combating Egregious Anti-Christian Violence in Nigeria and Globally. The policy responds to rising assaults on Christian communities by radical Islamic terrorists, Fulani militias, and other violent actors in Nigeria and beyond.
A lot of people, I know a lot of people might react, given the phrasing of that legislation, that targeting a Christian, in Nigeria, in as much as I'm a bit uncomfortable with the phrasing of that thing, there is something that I think people should know. You see, the United States that we know of today was founded on Christian principles, historically. That is the simple truth. So, and the administration in place now is a Christian conservative. They have no apology about that. So that is why it's happening. Then again, let us be very clear about certain things. We had it coming, especially the political elites who were using extremism to play politics in Nigeria. And when I say extremism,
I think we talked about that. That idea of our politics in Nigeria, where we have very prominent, reputable people.
Now you see,
play down.
Yeah, exactly. You see, let us be clear about certain things. This is not to say it's about one religion or the other.
No.
I think the other religion too must learn lessons from here, because it could be the other way tomorrow. So whoever finds themselves in power and you see there is an egregious act of a discrimination against one particular group, we should act in consonance with humanity. So it's a very big lesson for us. Time will fail us to, maybe we can take up this conversation.
Yeah, we should.
We should take up this conversation because it has a lot of gametes that we should look at.
All right. One last comment. Good morning, FlowFM. The Ilorin situation, I think the university just wants to make money at the expense of the student and their parent, which is unfair. The authority must be considerate in whatever they do. Thank you so very much for your comments. Mohammed from Tanke, your closing shot.
My closing shot is an appeal to Professor Wahab Egbewoli of University of Ilorin. SAN, yeah. Please, we are good friends. We are, we've had chats in the past. You need to look into what is happening at the university, for the sake of the students.
All right, then. The views expressed is not standing with the position of FlowFM 92.7 of staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey.
And I am Adedayo Adeyemi. Thank you for joining us. We're back tomorrow morning, 8 to 8:30. Good morning.
92.7, turn it up. Light it up. FlowFM, baby, body non-stop.
Boy, you sweet like we can groove. FlowFM, they play, I like your move. It be like say you sabi every tune. From Adeyemi to so be moon.
Hey.
FlowFM in the mix tonight.
Hey. FlowFM in the mix tonight.
FlowFM 92, we the rule the night.
Hey. FlowFM, we the rule the night.
FlowFM 92, we the rule the night.
Flow it down, flow it down.
Ilorin, no they stop. Never stop. We're going like we turn it up.
Light it up. FlowFM, baby, body non-stop.
Never stop.
Oh, you did.